Now, welcome along. Just going to set up on Facebook now. I think that angle should be okay. Just bring it a bit lower for some of the kind of ankle and foot exercises. So you're very welcome along. I'll just set up on my Facebook feed here and then I'll give the full introduction. But you're very welcome along. So let's just go live now. Share Jim, what's your name? Now, nice and straight. Okay, so that's us up on Facebook and YouTube. So, you're very welcome along to the session. My name is Shane, so I'm sure some of you are familiar with me now. Very welcome along to today's session. Seated chair gym, so I will lead all these movements in a seated position. As ever, just making sure you have a good, strong, sturdy chair. Bottle of water at the ready, particularly if you like where I am in Dublin today. It is very warm, very hot actually, so simple things like having a window open, just a little bit of ventilation, really important. So do just take the time maybe just to make sure you have a window open and have a bottle of water at the ready. Really is important. All these movements, as I always say, there's no pressure. The main thing is just that you kind of feel a nice connection with the body. I like to do lots and lots of repetitions, so you have plenty of time to get a feel, get a connection with the given movements. And very simple, if a movement ever causes pain, anything that just doesn't feel comfortable, just not to persist. It's not worth continuing if a movement causes pain. Do just change or adapt anything at all. So probably enough from me. So we'll just get straight in, get ourselves moving, and we'll kind of have a nice session for a Friday. I never like to push it too long, particularly on a Friday. But we'll feel good hopefully by the end of this session. So let's get ourselves warmed up and moving first. So I'm going to sit nice and tall in my chair, nice and upright, and very simple to begin. I'll just begin a nice little light shrug of the shoulders. And that's typically where I will begin with my warm-ups. Just to get those shoulders moving up and down. Any movement at all here. Just lifting up and back down, straight up and down. Okay, just checking in on YouTube there. Marie Ballybrack, great to have you with us, Marie. Very welcome along, YouTube and Facebook. So now what I want to do is just pause that movement. Just lift the right shoulder, then just lift the left shoulder. So just a little bit of separation, as I often like to, just to break this one down a little bit. Right shoulder up and then left shoulder up. Just very simple, just moving around, up and down. Now, for my next movement, what I'll do is, sometimes I do this differently, and again, there's a variety of little changes. What I want to do is lift my elbows to the side, and just allowing a little bit of help from the elbows today, just to get those shoulders moving around in circles. So just leading with the elbows, just creating nice big circles with your shoulders. So those arms can help a little bit just to propel, generate a little bit of movement. If that is an area that's a little bit tight, stiff, and maybe you find shoulder circles difficult. So just leading around in circles. And then just to change direction. So just continuing on, just changing direction. Just checking in with everyone there. Okay. And also, yeah, that's right on cue, as I was just about to mention, we do still have those surveys. So just if you had a little bit of time at the end of the session, just to fill out the survey, which has been linked in the comments, just to give us a little bit of feedback on the classes and what we can do maybe going forward. So we really do appreciate that if you have filled it out, or just if you have a little bit of time at the end to fill out that survey. It's just linked on Facebook there. Next, hands onto your legs, stretch down towards the feet and back up. So just reach down as far as comfortable and then straight back up. So again, the main thing is just that your body's moving. I appreciate it is quite warm today, but nonetheless, the warm-up is still very important. Despite it being warm, you're looking to loosen out all the joints. You're just preparing for a little bit of harder movements ahead. And we're gradually bringing that heart rate up as well. So we don't like to go too kind of abrupt and harshly into main block of work. We like to build up slowly, kind of lay the foundations to push a little bit harder in our main block of work. And back down. Now, bringing my hands together, just lightly raise up to left shoulder and then to right shoulder, just stretching across, nice and light, bringing the hands over to the shoulder, one side at a time, just stretching across. So again, just the main thing is you're active and moving in the warm-up. I always say to people, not to be too technical, we want to perform the movements well, but ultimately, once your body is moving in that warm-up, you're just building up. That is the main thing. So just stretching across, shoulder to shoulder. And then if I keep those hands together and just lightly turn to the right and left, and you'll just see how I allow my head to turn with the movement. I get that nice slow rotation. And again, I like to keep this nice and controlled, not looking to go too fast or too harshly with that movement. Just a nice controlled rotation. And once more. Now, if I keep those hands together, raise the elbows up. So see that position, elbows are lifted up. And again, I'll just rotate. So from a slightly higher position, getting a nice rotation. So think of your upper body in a sense separating from the lower body. So my hips are faced in position. And I just rotate the body side to side. Just getting a nice little bit of light movement, right and left. And back down. Okay. Very simple one next, just because I know the hands, fingers can get a little bit stiff as well. So just to lightly shake out the hands. It's a nice, very simple movement. Just lightly shake the hands out. And from there, just clench the hands together. So nice kind of tight clench and then spread out with the fingers. So just a little bit of movement, mobility in the fingers, like any other part of the body. Good to keep moving, nimble, and very important from a functional point of view in terms of all the little tasks we do with our hands and fingers every day. Just open and close, spread the fingers apart. So just trying to separate those fingers as much as I can from that clenched position initially. And back down. Perfect. Now let's move down to the lower limbs. I'm just going to take it into a kind of slow, high knee march. So big lift of the knees, one at a time. I'm not really looking to go too fast here, but I am looking to get a good lift. And I'll hold on to that chair if I want a bit of support as well. So big lift of the knee, one at a time. And a good indication of control for me is that I'm not stamping down, that you can barely hear that movement. Because I'm really light as my foot drops down. So a really big lift and a nice control drop, as opposed to kind of stamping the feet down. I like to keep it nice and light. Now, for the next movement, just lightly dig the right heel and then the left heel. So just dig the heels out one at a time. Just kind of finishing out our warm-up very shortly. Digging the heels out, right and left. Just alternate between those two positions. And then I will do the same action with my toes. So next, what I want to do is just lightly tap the toes out in front, right and left. Just tapping the toes out. Okay. And back in, back to that slow knee march, big lift, one at a time. Just continuing on, just lowering that laptop camera a touch, just so you get the perfect view for the ankles. No matter how perfectly you think I have it set up, you need to adjust when you get into the main movements. So just lifting up. Okay, and then finally what I want to do is just lift my right foot up, slowly around in circles. Again, just trying to keep this one nice and steady, that you're not rushing. And always just try and keep this nice and slow. Think of as much movement as you comfortably can from that ankle. And then just to reverse and change direction. And again, it's just getting as much movement as I can with that from the ankle. And back down. If I swap side, my left foot is up, slowly around in circles. And again, just looking to get as much movement as I comfortably can. So from that ankle. And I always say, not too strict. If you can't get a full circle, there's no pressure. Get as much movement as you can, even if it's just a side-to-side motion. reverse, change direction of those circles, just keeping it nice and controlled, slowly around in circles. And back down, and just finish out one last time with that nice slow knee march. Big lift to the right knee and left knee. So just finish out and just checking everything's all right there. Big lift. Afternoon, Kathleen, Mary, Eileen. Great stuff. Great to have you all with us. Okay. As ever, do appreciate those comments. I'll check in with everyone at the end of the session as well. So now let's get straight into our main blocks of work. And again, take a little sip of water if you need. So we're going to do little blocks of work together, and we'll repeat some of the movements a second time. So first movement. I'm going to sit kind of nice, comfortable, nice and upright. And two parts to this movement. Hold the chair if you want for a bit of support. Lift the right knee, press the leg out. Same action on the left. Lift the knee, press the leg. So just like that. I might show a couple of reps from the side as well. As ever, I'm going to set lots of reps. I'm not really timing them or limiting them. We're just going to do lots of repetitions. So you have plenty of time to kind of get a feel, connect with the movement, adjust your position if you need. Continuing, just to show you how that might look from the side. And kind of nice light, lift the knee, and then just press the leg. I don't want to go too harshly with the movement, just a nice light flow here. Knee lift and press, knee lift and press. So just not to kind of shoot the leg out, break it down, knee, and then press, knee up, and then press. And I just keep this kind of nice and light, with a nice flow to it. Lift the knee and press. And let's do another couple of repetitions on each side. And again, hold inside your chair if you like. Maybe two more per side. And we'll do once more. And back in. Okay. For my next movement, what I want to do is there's a little bit of coordination, and that's something I do enjoy. I'm going to have to think a little bit here. Start slow enough with the movement and kind of build your way up. So what I want to do is tap the toes of my right foot out to the side, and at the same time I want to press my right arm across. I'm just going to focus on that one portion of movement. So just tap the toes of your right foot to the side and press the body across at the same time. So you see my arm just presses, my hand is faced up to the side here, and I just press across. And at the same time, getting that leg moving. So think of the right side of your body is active and moving, but going in two different directions. Movement is a nice controlled rotation. Again, I don't shoot too fast to the side. I just keep this as a nice controlled action. And again, think of that something that we do every day in life. Rotation. It's never just straight lines forward and back. We turn, we rotate, we're grabbing things in the kitchen, turning, moving, all these little things. So that's why I like a movement like this. Stepping out with your right foot, pressing across with that right arm. And again, I'm trying not to kind of fold the position down. And nice and strong, my chest is out. Just a nice smooth rotation across. Pressing the arm across my body. And down. Let's work it from the left side now. If you find it a little bit awkward in terms of coordination, you could just do just the upper body, just the lower portion of the movement either. But I think just start slow and build it up. So left foot, toes tap out. My left hand's up. Press the arm across. So left foot taps to the side, and that left arm presses across the body in the opposite direction to the foot. Or think of it this way, like just your left side of your body moving. Left foot tap to the side, left arm push across. So again, just keeping it, maybe what starts slow, maybe we can build up into a nicer flow as we go along. With a little bit of coordination, and I do have to think a little bit just to get this movement locked in, but that's not a bad thing. We like to have to think a little bit, give ourselves a little bit of a challenge. And again, that nice smooth rotation, pressing across. And I'm not too worried. I'm not looking for a full, really far turn here. I just think a very light rotation, pressing across. And back in. Excellent. Okay, so that's your first little block of work. And what we'll do is repeat those same actions a second time. So it's nice, you have a chance to kind of feel, connect with the movements, and do adjust them as you go along if it feels a bit uncomfortable in any way. So back to movement number 1. Hold the chair if you like, lift the knee, press the leg, and then alternate. So 2 parts to the movement, lifting of the knee, and then just a nice light press of the leg. So these movements, there's kind of nice aerobic flow to them, just that you're keeping your body moving. You feel a little bit of a challenge in the body, and we're working areas like our hip, and we're having rotation, all these little areas within that as well. So just keeping it moving. Nice flow to this, knee up and press, knee up and press. Slow the pace down a little bit if you need. And just keep it going. And simple little things, like if you find one side is uncomfortable, maybe just to focus on the one leg. Again, knee up and press, knee up and press. Let's do maybe 2 more per side. And down, excellent. Okay, so we're going to swap into that rotation and press. What way? I did the right side first, so let's do it that way again. Again, I just kind of reset my position. I'm going to tap the toes of my right foot out and press that right hand and arm across my body. So just like that. Right foot taps to the sides, right arm presses across my body. In kind of rotation, just pressing across your body. Not looking for a huge turn or a range of motion here. Just so you're getting a little nice controlled, a little bit of movement here. As that right side is active as well, or leg rather, tapping the toes out to the side. So just keeping this one moving. Right arm across body, toes tap out to the sides. Again, slow it down, adjust, change this. There's plenty of time, plenty of reps. So there's no hurry or pressure to kind of get this locked in perfectly. We do lots of reps. And as I say, that'll give you plenty of time to just adjust, make this movement work best for you. Let's do 2 or 3 more. And in. Okay, so let's swap that up and go to the left side. And again, if you're finding the pace a little bit tough, I know it is warm. Do take a little breather. So there's nothing wrong, just take a little rest. Now, left foot. So my hand is up as well. I'm going to tap the toes of the left foot out and press the left arm across. So again, all on the left side in terms of action. So there's a little bit of coordination here. Left foot out to the side, and the arm and hand presses across. And then just get a nice controlled rotation, allowing my head to turn with the movement. But again, I'm not looking for a really big turn here. Just a nice smooth rotation, pressing across and moving that left side. And again, just think in everyday life, just that we will be turning, rotation. Think you're turning to grab something. I'm just kind of practicing that motion. I'm adding a little bit of extra challenge in with the lower body as well active. So we keep it going. Last couple of reps. And once more. Excellent. Okay. First round finished. Take a couple of seconds. Take a couple of deep breaths if you need. We'll move into our second little block of work. And it is warm, so I'm going to keep sipping on that water. And genuinely really important that you do if it's warm, as I say, like it is here. So an arm movement. So I'm going to just come a little bit closer. How this one looks. Elbows roughly in by my side. What I want to do is curl the hands up towards shoulders. Rotate the hands and back down. Nothing changes, just curl back up, twist, back down. So it's a regular curl up and down, but with the added addition of rotation of the hands at the top of the movement, only at the top of the movement. So nothing changes at the bottom, only at the top. As the hands curl up, I rotate and twist, and they lower down. Nothing changes, curl up, twist, back down. So you end up curling with the palms of the hands faced up, as I'll demonstrate now. And then you end up curling up with the palms of the hands face down. So you're just challenging. You're getting a little bit of movement and mobility from that elbow, really important. Also working my arms and getting that nice movement and rotation from the wrists and movement in the hands. So just a little bit of extra challenge from a regular curling of the arms. Again, we have lots of repetitions here, so you have plenty of time to just get a feel, connect this with these movements as you require or feel. So just curl them up and twist, back down. And let's do another couple here. Slow this one right down if you need. Curl up, rotate, and down. Curl up, rotate, and down. We'll do one last one, and down. Perfect. So next I'm going to do that. So that will work the front of the arm a little bit. And also I would classify it as movement from the elbow, general mobility. And what I want to do now is work the back of my arm, tricep. So I'm going to turn to a side position. And the way I like to do this is just to lift my right elbow in front, roughly about shoulder height. You can hold that arm for support because typically this will be a tiring position to hold. Clench the hand and just press the arm forward. So pressing from the elbow. I find people do find it difficult sometimes to connect with this part of the body with some of the different movements you can do for it. So this is a nice way for me, I find, to just build up, kind of getting a feel for how some of the back of the arm movements would work. And what I can do, as I say, I can just hold the upper arm in place and just practice that idea of pushing from the elbow. So typically with movements, when you're trying to work the back of the arm, we have to be able to access good movement from that elbow. And this is a great way to start, I find, just pressing from your elbow. By keeping my hands tensed and clenched, I just feel a little bit more connection through the back of the arm as I press forward. So again, let's just keep going. You see, I'm really just kind of lightly holding it in place with my fingers. I don't really need to grab around the arm or anything like that. I just lightly provide a little bit of support. And after a little bit of time, I really start to feel the back of the arm connect here. And down. So let's swap it up. And we'll go for the left side now. I just want to give you the best angle of this. So left elbow is raised. So again, roughly in line with my shoulder. I'm just going to hold that in place lightly with my fingers and just begin pressing forward. You see, I can take a little support from the back of my chair. I'm going to keep that hand clenched and I'm just pressing forward from the elbow. And I'm looking to feel and connect with the back of my arm. So that's actually a stronger muscle than our bicep and front of the arm, which we'll typically hear more about. But that tricep or back of the arm, really important. Just connecting with that part of your arm, back of the upper arm, and just pressing forward from your elbow. And again, keeping that hand clenched as well. I find that just helps me connect a little bit better with the movements. Let's go another couple of reps, just pressing forward from the elbows. And one more, and down. Okay, so let's reset and bring it back into those two movements. And with a movement like that, I find it's just going to work a lot better if you separate and go with that one arm as opposed to maybe trying the two together. I think it'll just connect a little bit better. So let's go back to our arm curl. Sitting nice and comfortable in your chair, elbows in, hands faced up, curl, twist, and back down. Curl, twist, and back down. So again, the rotation of the hands just happens at the top of the movement. I don't need to change anything at the bottom. Just curl, twist, back down. And let's continue on. Just checking in with the comments there. Just curl up, twist, and back down. No problem at all, Patrick. And yeah, that's it, Valerie. Exactly. Sometimes these little things are harder than you might think. Yeah, that's it. Like a little bit of challenge. That's what we like. A little bit of challenge, but hopefully still, can get a lot from it as well. So again, let's keep going here. Curl up, twist, back down. And I should point out, I'm trying to keep those elbows roughly in position. What I don't want to happen is that the elbows come way out of place. So you're really accessing movement from the elbows. Curl, twist, back down. Curl, twist, back down. And let's continue on like that. Another couple of reps. I'm enjoying this one. Really nice just to open up from those elbows and connect with the front of the arms. Movement from the hands as well, or wrist. So a lot of different parts here. Let's maybe go one or two more repetitions. And let's get one more. And down. Excellent. So, back of the arm next, or that tricep. So I'll just adjust my position and kind of line myself up. So right elbow is up. So remember, like upper arm, the back of my upper arm is the target zone here. Think of this area is lit up. This is bright red. This is what I want to work on. I press forward and back. So just pressing from the elbow, keeping that right hand clenched or kind of tensed. So for me, that helps me just connect a little bit better with the back of the arm. I think you're straightening that arm out from that position of here to directly in front. And squeezing back of the arm and just pushing from the elbow. And just particularly if you're going to find it tough to hold this position, I think it's worth just kind of lightly holding in place with your fingers. Just pressing forward, squeezing, connecting with the back of my upper arm. Big, strong muscle, back of the arm, really important to the overall arm. Okay, so just pressing forward. Let's do another couple of reps. And one more. Excellent. Swap sides over to the left. And again, your position is fine. I just want to give the best kind of angles for this. Left elbow up, roughly in line with my shoulder. Lightly holding in place and press. Okay, so I sat quite far back here. I'll just come forward a little bit. Just pressing from the elbow. So again, thinking in your head all the time, back of the upper arm. That's where I'm trying to work. Back of the upper arm. And I'm just pressing forward, keeping my hand clenched, and all the movement is from your elbow. So just pressing forward, straightening that arm out. The more I can kind of straighten this arm out, the more I might feel that position of back of the arm. Whereas if I kind of stop here, I mightn't quite feel the connection just as much compared to if I straighten it fully out. So let's keep going. Another couple of presses, maybe two more, and one more, and back in. Okay, brilliant. 2 rounds of really good work done. We're going to move into a third little block of work. A little bit of setup here, and this is a really nice movement for the hips. I have tried this before in 1 or 2 sessions, but equally it might be new to some of us. So let's take a little bit of time at the setup. I might sit a little bit forward in the chair. I'm going to put my 2 hands clenched and together between my 2 knees. So hope that makes sense. Hands together between your 2 knees. So they're kind of locked in place. What I want to then do is lift my right leg out to the side and then lift my left leg out to the side. Now, this is a very minimal movement. I'll just pull back a little bit. I thought that might show it better, okay? So hands together between knees, lift the right leg, lift the left leg. So what is the purpose of this movement? It's really to connect and work your hip. That's why I have my hands fixed in position between the 2 legs. It's going to be a very small movement. So you can see here, like I'm moving a matter of centimeters here. I'm not expecting that foot to lift way out to the side. It should really just be a very small movement, unless you really have exceptional mobility in the hips here. So just a very controlled action, lifting right foot to the side, then lifting left foot to the side. And what I'm doing is just accessing movements or connecting with my hip on each side. And I would expect this to be a very small range, really. And what can be interesting to see is there one side that has a better range? I would say my right side is moving a little bit more than the left side. So it's kind of interesting to see, is one side a little bit stronger? Does one side have a little bit more movement? You might find those little differences. Again, very natural if there is that difference. Let's do another 1 or 2 on each side. And back down. Excellent. Okay, so that's a tough enough one on the hips. So what I want to do is more, still going to be tough enough, actually, it's the wrong word, but a little bit more straightforward this next movement. So just again, sit kind of comfortably in your chair. I might like to sit forward a little bit, but sit back if you prefer. What I want to do first is just focus on the right leg. That's why I have my side view. So I walk my right foot forward a little bit, and I just focus on lifting the toes of that one right foot on its own. So just lifting the toes of my right foot. So I'm just breaking this down, as I often like to. So you're just kind of paying attention to that one side, just your right foot, lifting the toes. So let's keep going. We're going to get lots of repetitions here. And then we're going to go into a heel raise on this side shortly. Okay. So again, just lifting the toes of that right foot up, even if it's only a very small movement. You're just really feeling maybe the front of the leg here along the shin, and a very purposeful raising up of the toes. Now, stay with the right foot, just walk it back a little bit, and now lifting the heel, just on that right foot. So a big lift of the heel. And as I say, I find it really helpful sometimes to just break it down like this. Not that there's anything wrong, and I'll often do it, just lifting the 2 feet together with toe raises or heel raises. But sometimes to just break it down one leg at a time, or 1 foot at a time, and one kind of phase of movement at a time as well. Just seeing what kind of range you have in each position. So lifting the heel, maybe feeling the back of your leg and that calf, and getting lots of movement down here around the ankle. So just lifting the heel up and down, heel up and back down. Let's do another couple of reps. For me, when it comes to heel toe movements, I think lots and lots of repetitions to really kind of get it moving. And down. Perfect. Same for the left side. So again, we're just a case of breaking it down per side. Left foot is active. We'll just walk it forward just a little bit and start lifting the toes up. So the toes of my left foot raising up. And I'm kind of conscious not to bend forward here. Just I will straighten myself up a little bit more. I was a little bit slack there. I need to stay a little bit straighter. And just lifting the toes of that left foot up. So you'll see again, it's just really breaking the movement down, making that foot do lots of the work here. Feeling a little pull or connection along the front of the leg here. And just getting a big lift up with the toes. And again, maybe what starts as a very limited movement, after a good couple of repetitions, might start to get more and more movement, which is good. So we'll just keep going, lifting the toes up. Lots of lifts. And then walk it back. So walk that left foot back a bit. And now let's go with the heel. Lifting the heel up. And already I can tell this side is a little bit tighter. Again, that just could be based on what I did this week. And I might not have known that if I had done the 2 sides together. So just lifting that left heel up, feeling the back of your leg, or possibly here, on that calf, and getting a nice big lift up of that heel. Just lifting up, getting right up onto the toes of my left foot. Big lift, big lift. Okay. And we'll do the last couple of reps, maybe 4 or 5 more. And I like to do high enough reps with the movement like this. And back in. Excellent. Okay. So returning in, I want to try that little block of work one last time. So a second round of it, as it were. I think that's just good to try it again. So again, I like to sit forward a little bit. Nice and upright. Hands clenched together. Placed between your 2 knees. So hands clenched together. Placed between your knees and kind of lock it into place. Then I lift my right foot out to the side and then my left foot out to the side. So they're physically coming off the floor as I lift to the side. And think about the reason kind of why I have this locked in is that I get a very controlled rotation and movement from the hip. So the hip is really important here. And that's why it's really just a very small movement. And it's not wrong. Or it's not a case that you're not doing well if it's only tiny. You can see from me demonstrating that this is really a very small range of motion. They're really not expecting to get that foot very far out to the side. Just very controlled lift and lift. And you might start to, again, when you start to go a little bit higher here, you might start to really feel that hip. And as we start to do lots of reps, you start to feel more of a connection. And maybe really feel that you're getting a little bit of movement and control from that hip on each side. And the hips kind of so fundamental, important in everything we do. So that's why we like to pay a little bit of attention and work them quite hard like this. So I know this isn't an easy one, but really good to give it that little bit of kind of care and work. And let's go twice more on each side. Really feeling good this time. And left. Excellent. Okay, so I know that might feel a bit tough as you do it, but really after it, you should really feel quite good and really well done for that movement. Not easy. So let's go down to the right foot. Again, just sit nice and comfortable in your chair. Right foot is forward a little bit. And I just start lifting the toes of that right foot up. So again, it's just a case of breaking it down. I only want to move my right foot. So left is kind of taken out of the equation. And you're just lifting the toes of your right foot up, pointing up to the ceiling. Okay, so just pointing up to the ceiling every time with the toes of your right foot. So big lift, big lift. Again, I'm feeling a little pull on the front of my leg. And I just do lots of repetitions here with this movement. And again, just think how fundamental and important our feet are. And things like heel lifts, toe lifts, just in terms of walking movement. So this again, it's really nice to pay a little bit of attention, break it down like this per side, and kind of breaking down each portion of movement. Now walk that right foot back a little bit, and now do the opposite. Start lifting the heel up. So as I said, I can really feel that right side is a lot looser for me. The left side felt a bit tight. So you can see I can really get this right heel up nice and high, right up on my toes. I'm getting lots of good movement here. Feeling the back of my lower leg. I'm getting lots of movement here. Again, we're going to keep those reps nice and high, giving you a good chance to really feel, connect with the movement. Just adjust the stance of your foot if it feels a bit uncomfortable. We're doing so many reps that you have plenty of time to adjust, change as required. And back down. Perfect. Finish it out on the left side. Swivel my chair. And jump back in. Okay, so left foot forward a little bit. And lifting the toes. So just on that left side, raising the toes up. Very controlled lifts. Think of your foot here. So much, just getting as much movement as I possibly can. Lifting the toes up, pointing to the ceiling. And again, maybe feeling a little kind of a pull along the front of your leg. And just getting a nice big strong lift. Pointing those toes up, nice and high, towards the ceiling. Lots of reps, lots of chance to connect. Again, do feel free to just adjust, change your stance a bit if it's not feeling perfect for you. Big lift, big lift. Last couple of reps. And back in, okay? Walk that foot back, and now lift the heel. And so that one is a little bit tighter, but actually this second round now it feels a little bit looser. You can really feel the back of the leg and getting a big lift up of the heel. We'll just keep it going. Lifting that left heel as high as you can, getting right up onto the toes of your left foot. So as much movement as you can here, lifting that left heel up. Just feeling connection with the back of your leg. Lots of movement from that ankle. Big lift, big lift. And two more. And back in. Perfect. Okay. So just going to sit it back in. Take another drink of water. Okay. So what we'll do is I'll finish up with one last movement. This will just be two blocks. So think like an A and a B. So we won't have three like we did on the last part. It's just one last movement. And again, kind of ties in a little bit of coordination. Kind of nice, fun one to finish with. So I reset my position nice and tall. Right arm is by my side. What I want to do is raise the right arm to my side and extend the left leg in front. And just to stick with that one kind of part of movement. Right arm, left leg. So let's just keep that one going. Right arm out to the side, no higher than about shoulder level. And your left leg just to extend out in front. So left leg extends, right arm raises out to the side. And we just keep it going. Left leg, right arm. So again, that little bit of coordination. You have to think. If you find it in any way uncomfortable, you could take the arm out of the movement, or you could take the leg out of the movement. So you can strip it back. Again, just make this movement your own. Work best for you. and swap. So I'm just going to go straight in now with my left arm and right leg. Okay, so left arm out to the side, right leg extend. So that arm no higher than about shoulder level, and your right leg extending out. Just take a tiny little pause at the top of the movement as well. Otherwise, just a nice kind of continuous flow to the movement. Right leg and left arm. And again now, let's just go straight in and switch it up again. Right arm, left leg. So we're just taking a switch every couple of times. So right arm, left leg. And we'll keep this one going, and we'll just finish out with the opposite side shortly. So right arm, left leg. Another couple of reps. Little pause at the top. And switch. Left arm, right leg. And we'll just keep it going. Again, raise your left arm directly to your side, so lateral. And the right leg extends out in front. So I'm working the leg, the thigh, and my shoulder is active as well. So again, 2 parts, and then the coordination of the movement as well. Finish out, and back down. Perfect, okay? So a lot of brilliant work there, really well done. We did work very hard, especially for a Friday. So all that we want to do now is just cool down and just signal to our body to rest and relax everything down after all that good hard work. So a couple of light little movements just to finish out, keeping this very light. Just dig your right heel out and dig the left heel out. And it's going to take maybe a second pause every time. So we're moving from kind of harder movements, just a very light movements, just kind of naturally slowing the pace of the work down. So just nice light heel digs out to the sides. Just kind of slowing the movements down, signaling to our body to rest. So we'll just lightly dig the heels out to the sides with a little pause, all of a second each time. Dig the heel and dig the heel. Okay. And then bringing the feet back in, walk them back a little bit. I want to lift the 2 heels up together. Just going to hold that position for a couple of seconds. Heels up off the floor. Nice light hold. And then back down, and then walk your feet forward a little bit and point the toes up towards the ceiling. And back down. Again, just walk the feet back a little bit. Heels up, right up off the floor. Hold about 10 seconds here. Just hold that position. Couple of seconds. And back down. Walk the feet forward and raise or point the toes up to the ceiling. So just holding that position, staying as we are. And then back down. Excellent. So just bring the feet back as they were. And just once more, lightly dig the heels out to the side. So a little stretch across, right and left. And a little pause each time. Not really for very long, but just keeping the movement light is what I want here. That you're not going really fast. This is about slowing down, cooling down, relaxing the body. And back down. Perfect. Okay, so just moving up the body a little bit. What I want to do next is just very simple. Bring the hands together, rotate your body to the right, stay here for a couple of seconds, and then rotate over to the left. And I'll maybe think 2 or 3 seconds in each position, just turning right and left. And again, just over to the right and left. Let's do 2 or 3 more in each direction. Say 2 or 3 more, and it's always going to be the 3, but we'll take a little bit of time. And let's go once more, over to the right and over to the left. Keeping those hands together, kind of interlace the fingers now, up to your left shoulder, and then up to the right shoulder with the 2 hands. And again, just take a second or 2 to pause each time. Cross to each shoulder. Just lightly breathing as I go, just kind of thinking of my breathing returning right back to normal, to a rest. Just taking a little breather as we go. Keeping the movement very light, cooling down, relaxing the body. And down. Arms out, hands face up, pull back, hands right into your shoulders and tuck those elbows back, squeeze and hold. And then just extend back out. Hands still faced up. Pull back, tuck those elbows in, so I might feel my chest rise out and a little squeeze between my shoulder blades. And relax back out. And once more, pull back and hold. And then relax back out. Okay. Just thinking of the shoulder next, what I want to do is just bring my right arm across. That might be as far as I can go. And I'll just lightly hold it in position with my spare left hand. Just holding that stretch in the shoulder. A little bit of time. And then back down. Left arm across chest. Lightly hold it in with your spare hand. And you just push gently, very gently, getting a little bit more from that stretch. Never too harsh with the movements. Just a nice light hold. Back down. And then very simply, I just want to lift the shoulders up and back down. Just keeping it really nice and light. You're not looking to rush these movements. Just slowing everything right down. Keeping it really relaxed. And then separate right shoulder, left shoulder. One at a time. Lifting up. Just a big lift. And then back down. Just slowly catching your breath. Okay. And then finally, just with a head rotation. And for me, with the head rotation, super slow. Never want to go too fast. And you're never looking to go too extreme. So I don't want to turn too far to the right. I don't want to look up too high. I just work with my head and neck on this. So very lightly, I turn to the right as far as comfortable. And then very lightly, I just look over to the left. And again, as far as comfortable, I don't want to go too extreme in these positions. Back to the center. I lightly look up towards the ceiling or as high as comfortable. And then I lightly look down as far as is comfortable. And then reset. Okay. Now finally, just a couple of big deep breaths to relax ourselves down. So just take a nice big inhale through your nose. And slow exhale out the mouth. In through the nose again. And exhale out the mouth. Again, let's do another few. And we'll do two more. And once more. Okay, so that's our class finished today. Thanks very much everyone on YouTube, really well done. Thanks to everyone on Facebook. Have a brilliant weekend. Just again, that survey is there on Facebook, just if you haven't completed it. We have that survey just to give us a little bit of feedback on these classes in general. But again, otherwise, have a great weekend, and I'll see you again next week. Great work, everyone. Have a brilliant weekend. So well done, everyone, Facebook. Well done, YouTube, Marie and Mary. Brilliant stuff. No problem. Great to hear. Thanks very much.